Whew, it is a hot one out today. Our first actual hot day that we've had all year. I think we might hit about 80 degrees, probably high 70s, 80 if we're lucky. Although it does make what I'm about to show you all a little bit more difficult to complete. I'm hoping I can give you a little bit of gardening inspiration today with the project that we've got going on, having to do with wood chips and our new flower beds that we're creating in the backyard here. There is a lot going on, a lot that I want to cover up, a lot that I'm covering up with wood chips and mulch. I want to talk to you about the whole process and show you a couple of different time-saving techniques that we've used in the past with our vegetable bed here that turned out great, which is why I'm going to use them over here. Some of you might be following us on Facebook already. This is the area that we're creating. Essentially, we want to fill in this whole back area here with wood chips so we can continue to grow flowers. We've got wildflowers, perennial flowers, annuals, dahlias, ranunculus, all kinds of things going on back here. If some of you are following us on Facebook already, but if you are not, go ahead and check out on Facebook, or I'll put a picture right here of what this area looked like before. And now this is what it looks like after. So what I'm doing is filling this all up with wood chips. And instead of doing the whole cardboard thing, I'm just putting the wood chips right over all of this stuff that is growing right now. So any grass that's growing back here, any of the wild lettuce that's growing, all of that stuff is going to kind of get mowed down and smothered out by the wood chips. So see over here, we've got a bunch of the wild lettuce that we have. Before I do this, I got to do a video on the chickens, or I'll just show you right now. What I do is I'll just go through, I'll pick a bunch of it up. I think they probably ate theirs already, so I will just get a whole bunch of this stuff. One big reason why I like to keep some weeds around the yard is for the chickens. I still have to fill in the mulch in this whole area too. But so I'll take this wild lettuce and just toss it in there. And they love it. They have a grand old time eating that. And so our goal for this area is really going to be matting down all of the grasses that are growing. We're going to elevate the soil level because right now there's a big dip here. So it's not very efficient at getting the water out of the area. In fact, a lot of the neighbors' yards all kind of pool right up into here. So I believe by creating a good, healthy ecosystem and soil in here, that's going to allow us to soak up a lot of that water, so it's not just going to be sitting. And then we can also utilize different types of plants in the more wet areas compared to the areas that don't get quite as wet. So we're going to work in a little bit of creative landscape design in with this area. But to start off with, just to get rid of everything, the quickest and easiest way to do that is to cover it up with wood chips just like we did back here. The reason why I'm not using cardboard is because it's not needed, simply not needed. I did the same thing with all of these beds here. Before I built the garden beds, I got a load of wood chips, free from the city of course, dumped it onto the ground, and now it has turned into living, breathing soil. And every year all I do is I'll just add in a couple inches of wood chips. See, I just piled some over here. I just add in some wood chips on top, but I did not put any cardboard down on most of this, and I haven't had any weeds grow up for the most part. If you have some things pop up here and there, all you've got to do is go through. Usually pretty easy to get the whole root system because it is in these wood chips. They don't take hold very much. And so we're going to do the same thing over here. We're building the soil by using these wood chips, and then we're also smothering all of the weeds and making it very easy for long-term care and maintenance of this garden area with these wood chips. Also, it's going to bring the mycorrhizal content higher in that soil, so we'll have a good ratio of bacterial mycorrhizal content. Especially since back here has been getting wet for many years, we've got a more dense soil. So we've got to start working in that mycorrhizal content to kind of loosen up the soil, to create that nutrient transfer between the soil and the plants as well. So the wood chips are going to help with so many different things in this area back here. Like I say in my videos, there's always got to be something wrong. This right here is our second load of wood chips for the year. And again, absolutely free to use. Free for the city to drop off because they've got their mulching program. And what happens is after that, usually they have to go and take that to the landfill or their own landfill at that point. Essentially, though, it's going to be cheaper for them just to drop it off at your house. So they're happy to do that for you. They're happy for people to be creating landscapes in their gardens and to be utilizing the resources from around them. So most cities will provide this. If you just call your public works department, village hall, city hall, whatever it might be, and ask them if they do mulch drop through the village or town city. Most likely they will. So in that case, they can just drop it off right in your front yard for you. So this is going to save us hundreds of dollars every single year by using this resource. Now, even though I don't use cardboard at this point, what I will do is just come through with a rake or a 2x4 or something and simply just lay down the weeds. What this is going to do is it's going to pinch off the growth and help a lot when smothering everything and stopping it from growing back again. Now you can see another free method we used of edging was just putting down these logs here. Now what I will have to do in the future, I haven't had time to do it right now, is I will probably go through with a flat spade and edge out this area, cutting off the grass along this whole length. And what that's going to do is create an edge where the grass won't grow into in the future. Even though it's worked pretty well with these, with my gardening area over here for the vegetables, there is some grass that starts to sneak up in there if I don't pile on a lot of wood chips throughout the year. So at some point I will come through and create a definitive line over here, pull out the grass from this edge, but I won't be pulling out any of the grass and stuff from the area back there. That I'm just going to smother. But I really want to make sure I create a nice edge to stop that grass from growing. But I will probably just keep on using these cedar logs along this lining here. I have a whole bunch of them, and then I also have a friend who has hundreds of them on his property, so we might just use that. So nice way to use, again, free resource here. So showing you what this looks like. That's everything just laid down compared to up over here. Admiring all of our sunflowers. Very excited for them this year. Hope they do great. Hopefully as well as last year. We had like 14-foot tall sunflowers back here. Let's get to it. Time to start dumping the wood chips. Now, when doing this, since we're not using cardboard, you will have some weeds pop up here and there. But again, remember, you're avoiding a lot of nasty chemicals when using cardboard. I've done it in the past without doing too much research, but now that I've done enough research and realize that there is zero regulation in what they have to put into cardboard, and a lot of nasty stuff. A lot of weird, nasty glues. Recycled cardboard can come from many different sources as well. A lot of different things that could really inhibit the plant growth that we have. So to avoid that, just don't put in cardboard. But you will have some weeds pop up here and there. If you do, just simply go down and grab them. Like this one here. I'm just gonna go down low, pull it up, throw it out of the way, and then cover it up again. Let's look for some others. Right here we had some sorrel pop up. I'll just take a handful of the stuff around it, pull it up, get out that sorrel, throw it out of the way, and then cover up with the wood chips. Eventually, over time, you will see that all of the weeds are just gone because they run out of energy. They're very easy to pick out of the wood chips too, so don't let this be a deterrent to you when not using cardboard. Definitely think about it, and if it's worth it to you, just don't use the cardboard. It really, honestly, it doesn't take that much more work compared to the cardboard itself. Plus, we're going to be getting a lot more interchange between the bacteria, the earthworms, and everything else in the soil without that cardboard layer being down. So our wood chips overall are going to start breaking down a lot faster than with the cardboard. And our end goal to this is to create healthy soil underneath while creating a moisture retentive surface up above that's going to stop weeds. And it's overall going to be giving fertilizer to the deeper soil over time, and also it's going to be feeding and raising our mycorrhizal content levels. So yeah, got lots more work to do. I got to fill in this whole space here. Just about done for the day. We've got about 5 more wheelbarrows left of this stuff. I will show you just how much coverage we got from the second load of mulch. I might go ahead and get a 3rd load of mulch for the season. It just depends on how much I really want to put my back through, to be honest. It's a lot of work. It's not easy work doing this. I'll show you exactly what we've got out so far. Before we started, our line was right here. We did all of this stuff, you know, a couple of days ago. And now we added all of this mulch back here. We went with the good old log barrier method. These are, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 inches high off the ground. Then this whole area back here has now been mulched. Sheet mulched. Killing all of that grass, killing all the weeds. Working around our beautiful sunflowers. Over here, if you can see, we've got trellises, and we're going to be growing our cucumbers over here. Cucumbers. And then we've got more cucumbers back here, just so you all know. I've laid down these weeds right here. I think I'll put that mat out to kind of kill some of these other areas in the meantime. And I for sure want to get a few more wheelbarrows in all around these sunflowers, around our wine sap apple and everything too, before I call it quits. But we've got a lot down tonight. This is such a big area. I'm very excited to start turning this around and turning it into a beautiful flower garden that it deserves to be. Keep in mind, some of you might not know, but we've been on this property for just 2 years. And when we moved here, out till about where I'm at right now, all the way to the edge of the fence from maybe here, from this point on, these were all cedars. This was completely full of cedar trees, big old 25 or 30 foot cedars as well. And they were taking up a huge portion of this backyard. I took them all out myself. Mulched them all up in the backyard for the smaller branches, and then all of the logs I've had sitting out on the side. Now we've got use for those logs. We had use for the mulch in the meantime. We had a lot of stuff that we composted as well from that. But we took this area that was all cedar trees and we put up our chicken coop. We had our squash patch here last year, so this is where we grew all of our squashes. And now we're turning it into our cut flower garden, our dahlia propagation area, ranunculus, some probably also gonna do like gladiolas as well, and some annuals in here. Maybe farther on this side, as I said, it was harder to grow. As we get down on that side of the property, we'll probably do some wildflowers, some native species and things like that. So we are turning this space into something beautiful. As you saw earlier, also we've got elderberries. This is number 5 or number 6 elderberry. So we've got elderberries over there, and then on the other side of the fence we have elderberries also. If you're not familiar with the channel, we got a couple of peach trees. There's a peach tree on that side, peach tree here, wine sap apple. We've got apple trees up in the front yard. We built all of these garden beds within the last 2 years. We also put up the fence in the last 2 years. This willow tree right here, this beautiful willow, was propagated by yours truly. This is only 1 year old, if you believe it or not. That's just freaking unbelievable. 1 year old cutting. It was a big old cutting, to tell you what, but to get that much growth off of this weeping willow in a single year has been incredible. Now I know a lot of common folk out there might think that this right here, all of these wood chips are ready to plant in right away. You ain't got to do nothing else, baby. You got them wood chips down. You are ready to grow. And maybe a lot of up there youpers who've been into gardening for a long time think that, well, you got to wait a year and you can't plant nothing in there. That wood chip's got to decompose before you even put nothing in there. Well, I'm going to tell you, both of you are wrong. Both of you are unaware that gardening is situational. You could plant flowers in here right now, as we did with our dahlias. We planted them in there right away. I could put in more flowers right now. All I would have to do is separate the wood chips out, pull them off to the side, dig my hole, put in a little bit of extra soil right away. I would maybe dig a hole twice as big as I have to, put in a lot of soil in there, and then put those wood chips back around it, and it'll do just fine. What you don't want to do is plant directly in the wood chips the way they are, because obviously they're decomposed. But we don't have to wait an entire year before planting this if we don't want to. I'm going to wait, to be frank, I have gone over my gardening budget this month and last month. So we'll see how many flowers I can sneak away in here, how many propagations we get growing. But a lot of this area probably won't be planted quite yet, just because we've got to figure out exactly what we want, the layouts that we want and everything as well. And I do think we're going to get a couple of raised beds back here. We've got some coming in the mail in the next couple of weeks. I will leave an affiliate link in the description below. Those are Vegiga. Don't even know how to pronounce that. Vegiga. Vegigo. I don't know. I got them coming in the mail. They're raised garden beds. I'm going to start sharing my affiliate link in the description below so you guys can get 10% off of that, and then help support the channel in the meantime also. All that to say, not sure what we're going to plant in here, but letting you know that gardening is situational. You could plant in this right away if you wanted to. You just got to add in a little bit of extra soil around your plants. You can't just go right in the wood chips. Or if you wait a year, then you could go right in the wood chips for the most part, but you do want to add a little bit of soil because it's not going to be totally broken down yet. That being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching today's episode. It was a lot of work. We put in the elbow grease today, baby. I am so excited, though. We got a lot of stuff growing. I will do a tour sometime soon here on all of the new plants that we added, because I know you guys are always excited to see that. So with that being said, happy gardening, and we'll see you in the next episode.